now a plastic bag has been found in the deepest part of the ocean.
It was an amazing experience. It was an amazing dive. I think almost exactly 12 hours.
One of the most dangerous trenches, if not the top, is the Mariana Trench, an extremely deep and horrifying part of the world. This darkest of the darks has its own planet of mysteries, creatures, and even undiscovered living things the whole of humanity could not even imagine to exist. We can only discuss the shocking discoveries fishermen and researchers found inside this dangerous trench, and today is that day. It's time to dive into the dark depths of Mariana. The first dive. The first journey to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest part of the oceans, took place on January 23, 1960. This important mission was led by Jacques Piccard, a Swiss ocean scientist, and Don Walsh, a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy. They went to the Challenger Deep, the trench's lowest point, in a special submersible called the Trieste. The Trieste dove down to about 10,911 meters or 35,797 feet. The environment down there was really harsh, with intense pressure and complete darkness. This groundbreaking dive was the first time people had ever explored the ocean at such extreme depths, paving the way for more deep-sea exploration and studies. Did he discover something in there? Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh made an astonishing find during their groundbreaking dive to the trench. As they descended into the Challenger Deep, they encountered unexpected signs of life at such extreme depths, defying the assumptions about the harsh conditions of high pressure and absence of sunlight. Among their discoveries was a flatfish-like creature resting on the ocean floor, which challenged the prevailing belief that life could not survive in such severe environments. While subsequent research raised questions about the precise identification of the creature they observed, the significance of their findings remained. They provided compelling evidence that life can indeed flourish in the ocean's deepest regions, prompting scientists to reevaluate the boundaries of biological endurance. This historic dive spurred further exploration and research into the Mariana Trench, ultimately uncovering a variety of life forms uniquely adapted to thrive in extreme conditions. The second dive after 5 decades. This situation is quite significant due to the extensive time span between the initial descent and the subsequent one. It wasn't merely a matter of decades. It also involved an individual who dared to explore the depths of the trench, a filmmaker rather than a trained scientist. The second manned expedition to the Mariana Trench occurred on March 26, 2012, more than 50 years after the first. This journey was led by James Cameron, the Canadian filmmaker and deep-sea adventurer, aboard a submersible called the Deep Sea Challenger. Cameron made the descent alone to the Challenger Deep, reaching an astonishing depth of around 10,908 meters. Throughout his dive, Cameron gathered samples and captured high-definition video footage, meticulously documenting the trench's unique landscape and its diverse inhabitants. In contrast to the first dive, which had limited scientific capabilities, Cameron's mission was outfitted with cutting-edge technology, enabling a thorough examination of the environment. During his exploration, Cameron encountered peculiar shrimp-like amphipods and various small organisms that thrive in the extreme pressure of the trench. He noted a barren, moon-like seafloor with few large creatures, but an unexpected abundance of microbes. The samples he collected have since shed light on unique microbial communities and organisms that produce enzymes capable of functioning under immense pressure. These discoveries have significantly enhanced our understanding of life's resilience and the rich biodiversity found in deep-sea ecosystems. Why did it take so long to visit the trench for the second time, despite the successful exploration of Piccard in 1960? The lengthy interval between the initial and subsequent manned descents into the Mariana Trench, spanning over half a century, stemmed from a mix of technological, financial, and logistical hurdles. Challenging engineering demands. The Mariana Trench plunges to depths nearing 11 kilometers, almost 7 miles, where the pressure is more than 1,000 times that of the atmosphere. Designing a submersible that can endure such extreme pressure is a formidable task. While the technology of 1960 enabled the Trieste to reach the trench, developing a more sophisticated, scientifically equipped vessel necessitated groundbreaking advancements in materials and engineering, significant expenses, and scarce funding. Exploring the deep sea comes with hefty costs, and financial resources for such high-risk endeavors are limited. In contrast to space exploration, which garnered more public attention and funding in the years following the 60s, deep-sea research faced inconsistent financial backing. Both private investment and government support were minimal, hindering advancements in technology for trench exploration. Complex logistical challenges. The remote location and lack of infrastructure made expeditions to the Mariana Trench difficult to organize and execute. This required coordination of resources, specialized vessels, and personnel trained in extreme depth operations. Limited scientific urgency. For many years, scientists believed the deep ocean was a barren environment with little biological or geological interest, reducing the perceived scientific urgency. It wasn't until more recent decades that deep-sea ecosystems began to be recognized for their diversity and potential for unique discoveries, leading to renewed interest. The 2012 dive by James Cameron was enabled by advances in technology, including improved materials for pressure resistance, a rise in private funding, and a growing interest in extreme environments' potential for scientific discovery. Some argued that a dive of this magnitude, involving significant financial resources and advanced technology, should have been conducted by a team of professional scientists with specialized research objectives. Critics felt that Cameron's status as a wealthy filmmaker allowed him to undertake a mission that might have been better reserved for a more research-focused expedition. Cameron's main goal was to obtain high-definition footage for potential documentary and cinematic endeavors, which led some researchers to argue that this focus diminished the scientific significance of the mission. While he did gather samples, the emphasis on visual documentation over comprehensive scientific research left some feeling that a valuable opportunity for in-depth study was overlooked. Despite the footage and samples collected during Cameron's expedition contributing to our understanding of deep-sea ecosystems, critics contended that a mission spearheaded by oceanographers or marine biologists could have yielded more precise scientific data. Although Cameron collaborated with scientists during the planning and analysis stages, he was the only diver, raising concerns that important scientific observations might have been overlooked during the dive. On the other hand, supporters of Cameron pointed out the advantages his mission brought to the field of deep-sea exploration. His dive generated unprecedented media coverage of the Mariana Trench, igniting a surge of public interest in the deep sea and highlighting the necessity for further ocean exploration. The deep-sea Challenger submersible he helped develop introduced new materials and engineering innovations that benefited subsequent deep-sea research. Ultimately, Cameron's dive highlighted both the promise and complexities of privately funded scientific exploration, leading to further discussion about collaboration between scientists, explorers, and private individuals with the resources to undertake such missions. Let's get on to the rest of the marvelous explorations and discoveries succeeding the first two visits in the deep trench. Don't miss the next ones. The wreck of the USS Johnston. The most profound regions of the ocean are thought to conceal numerous peculiar and enigmatic phenomena. Some of the organisms that have been identified in these shadowy depths exhibit remarkably unusual characteristics, and these represent only a fraction of what is currently known. A vast array of discoveries remains to be uncovered beneath the surface of the water. Under the eerie shadows of the sunken USS Johnston, a faint, mystical light starts to appear, suggesting the existence of something ancient and colossal. During a fierce battle, the USS Johnston, a destroyer, was struck by fire from the Yamato. Even after taking hits, it continued to fight for 2 more hours before it ultimately sank. Tragically, 186 out of 327 crew members lost their lives. For 75 years, the wreck of the USS Johnston remained hidden near Samar Island, close to the enormous Philippine Trench, which plunges down 6 miles. To give you an idea of how deep that is, if you placed Mount Everest at the bottom, its peak would still be submerged by a mile. Eventually, Johnston was found during a submarine expedition. To everyone's surprise, the front 2/3 of the ship were largely intact, and its identification number was still visible, resting at a depth of nearly 4 miles. But the shipwrecks aren't the only unusual things hiding in these depths. Have you ever heard of the ping-pong tree sponge? The deep sea is home to not just strange fish and haunting shipwrecks, but also other weird formations like the ping-pong tree sponge. Despite its innocent name, this sponge is actually carnivorous. It resembles a tree adorned with ping-pong balls and can grow up to about 20 inches tall. Most of it consists of a slender stalk, topped with clusters of round growths that extend in all directions, a truly bizarre sight in the dim underwater darkness. There are so many amazing and strange things hidden in the ocean's deep, unexplored areas. But that's not even the most astonishing part. As we continue to investigate these remote regions of our planet, who knows what discoveries await us? We could find even more incredible things that help us learn about the fascinating and varied life forms living in the depths of the sea. These tiny creatures are both delicate and dangerous, covered in tiny hook-like structures known as spicules. These hooks snag any small animal that accidentally brushes against them. Over time, these sponges gradually break down their prey, digesting it piece by piece. It's a slow and somewhat terrifying process that highlights how tough life can be in the ocean. A variety of sea creatures gather to feast on the carcass of a whale, turning it into a massive meal that can last for days. It might sound a bit grim, but that's just the way nature operates. Baleen whales, such as humpback, blue, and fin whales, get their name from their unique feeding method. They use baleen plates to take in large amounts of water filled with food, filtering out the water and keeping the food inside. These whales can dive as deep as 200 meters to hunt. While they primarily eat krill, they will also consume other fish if they're abundant. They even have a smart technique for trapping fish in tight groups to make catching them easier. Now let's dive into the world of the Dumbo octopus found deep in the ocean. Creatures of the abyss. The marine hatchet fish, which gets its name from its unique hatchet-like shape, is an intriguing inhabitant of the deep sea. There are around 45 species of these fish, with sizes varying from 6 inches to as small as 1 inch. What really sets them apart is their ability to create their own light, a phenomenon called bioluminescence. This skill isn't just for show. It plays a crucial role in their survival. They use this light to camouflage themselves, ensuring they don't appear as dark silhouettes to predators lurking below. This clever tactic is well recognized by scientists who specialize in deep-sea fish. But wait, there's more. There's also a freshwater version of the hatchet fish that you might find in aquariums, but it lacks the enchanting qualities of its deep-sea relatives. Picture the shape of a sharp hatchet blade. Pretty surprising, right? It leads us on an exciting journey into the depths of the ocean, where we encounter amazing creatures you probably didn't know existed. Let's kick things off with comb jellies, which are scientifically called ctenophores. These fascinating creatures are helping scientists uncover the connections between various species, including humans. It might be surprising, but these tiny jellies are actually our distant relatives. By examining them, researchers gain insights into early brain development and the formation of nerve cell networks. Even though comb jellies lack a brain, their nerve cells are spread throughout their bodies like a web. While they may resemble jellyfish, they are quite distinct and have followed their own evolutionary journey. Currently, as many animals face challenges due to climate change, comb jellies are flourishing. They are even taking over certain habitats, displacing other marine species and potentially altering the balance of ocean ecosystems. Next up is the black sea devil, a creepy creature that lurks in the ocean's dark depths. Don't let the name fool you, it's definitely not friendly. With its sharp teeth and large fang-like structures, it's easy to see how it got its name. This anglerfish primarily resides near the ocean floor and is a skilled hunter. It uses a glowing lure on its head to draw in unsuspecting prey, similar to how a fisherman uses bait. Anglerfish are formidable predators equipped with sharp teeth and a massive mouth that can engulf prey much larger than themselves, making them highly effective hunters. Then we have the barrel-eye fish, a creature that looks like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie. It features a transparent, dome-shaped head and sensitive, tube-like eyes that float in a green, jelly-like substance. This unusual design allows the fish to spot prey even in the pitch-black depths of the ocean. Additionally, its body is sprinkled with organs that emit light, creating an eerie glow in the dark waters. Now, let's explore how the barrel-eye fish navigates in complete darkness. Life at extreme depths. Many deep-sea animals struggle to see in the dark, but the barrel-eye fish has an incredible vision system that helps it locate food and steer clear of predators. This gives it a significant advantage in the pitch-black depths of the ocean. Then there's the snailfish, often referred to as the impossible fish. This name isn't just a quirky title for a plant-based seafood alternative. It highlights the fact that this fish thrives at astonishing depths where you'd think no life could exist. In an environment where it seemed impossible for life to endure, a remarkable finding was made. Scientists once believed that no fish could survive deeper than 8,820 meters, thinking those depths were too extreme for any marine creature. However, a group of Japanese and Australian researchers discovered a snailfish living at a depth of 8,336 meters in a trench. This discovery shattered the previous depth record held by another snailfish from the Mariana Trench. The fish has unusual characteristics, which makes sense given its existence in total darkness, far from other life forms. But the snailfish isn't the only contender for the title of the deepest dwelling fish. The cusk eel is also a strong rival. These eels inhabit the darkest regions of the ocean and may resemble other eels, but they are actually related to fish like tuna and seahorses. They have existed since the late Cretaceous period, millions of years ago, making them well suited for deep-sea life. You can find them in both temperate and tropical oceans, where they prefer to stay near the ocean floor. One species of cusk eel, with a name that's quite tricky to pronounce, has been discovered at a depth of 8,370 meters in the Puerto Rico Trench, surpassing the snailfish's record by 34 meters. There's even more to discover. Let's dive into the world of the supergiant amphipod, a creature that redefines what big means in the ocean. Marine biologists set traps in the deepest parts of a trench, hoping to catch the usual smaller amphipods. To their surprise, they pulled up these enormous crustaceans, some of which are over 20 times bigger than their typical relatives. This shocking discovery left the scientists scratching their heads and added another layer of intrigue to the mysteries of the deep sea. And then we have the goblin shark, a creature that looks like it belongs in a horror film set underwater. With its eerie appearance and features reminiscent of ancient sharks, it's definitely a sight to behold. Its long snout and mouth filled with sharp teeth that can extend to snatch prey make it look pretty scary. However, the goblin shark is surprisingly slow and doesn't actively hunt for food. Instead, it patiently waits and uses its jaw to quickly snatch anything that swims by. Just looking at it might make anyone want to swim away in fear. Next up, we'll hear strange sounds from deep underwater, unraveling Mariana Trench's mysteries. In 2016, an incredible find emerged from the depths of the Mariana Trench, sparking interest among scientists all over the globe. A remote-operated vehicle exploring the dark and high-pressure environment of these deep waters detected a strange metallic-like sound. This noise, a low, moaning tone that lasted about 3.5 seconds, was completely different from anything experts had ever recorded in the ocean. At first, researchers thought the sound might be coming from baleen whales, which are known for their unique vocalizations. However, this specific noise had a distinct signature that made it stand out from the usual whale songs. Confused by its unusual qualities, scientists decided to call it the Western Pacific biotwang. But this wasn't the only odd sound captured underwater. Over the years, various mysterious noises have led to a lot of wild speculation. For instance, in 1997, the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, detected a powerful ultra-low frequency sound known as the bloop. This sound was so strong that it traveled over 3,000 miles. Initially, experts were completely puzzled and even considered the possibility that it could be from a sea creature as large as an island, which was a pretty scary thought. Eventually, they proposed a less dramatic explanation, suggesting it might be the result of moving glaciers or an iceberg collision. But who really knows? What do you think this strange sound could be? Do you have any ideas? Feel free to share. Let us now turn our attention to the 7th entry, giant amoebas. In 2011, researchers on an expedition to the Mariana Trench made a remarkable discovery of exceptionally large single-celled organisms known as xenophyophores, commonly referred to as amoebas. These organisms are notable not only for their considerable size, some measuring over 4 inches in diameter, but also for being the largest known single cells. They were located at depths reaching 6.6 miles in a region of the trench identified as Serena Deep, surpassing the previous depth record of 4.7 miles. The depths of the trench remain largely uncharted, leaving open the possibility of further discoveries. Transitioning to the 6th entry, we encounter zombie worms. These organisms, which inhabit the deep sea, are infamous for their macabre feeding habits. Remarkably, they consume the bones of deceased marine animals. Found at depths of approximately 9,500 feet, These worms possess a distinctive capability to penetrate bones in order to access the fats and proteins contained within. This peculiar feeding mechanism involves creating numerous tiny holes, enabling them to extract nutrients from the remains internally. In the abyssal depths of the ocean, various organisms utilize bones as a means of protection against predators, with some even constructing hidden shelters for added security. Additionally, they rely on the substantial remains of deceased whales for sustenance. Among these fascinating deep-sea creatures is the vampire squid. Despite its ominous name, it is neither a squid, an octopus, nor a vampire. This extraordinary organism inhabits warm, temperate ocean waters, typically found at depths between 2,000 and 3,000 feet, where temperatures hover around 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. Vampire squids are known for their dark or red color and skin flaps that look like a mysterious cape, complete with large red eyes. 1530. Unlike other squids, they don't change color or squirt ink to escape danger. Instead, they release a glowing, sticky liquid that confuses predators. These creatures live far from humans, but they are increasingly at risk because of ocean pollution and the destruction of their habitats. Deeper still, we find the frilled shark and more hidden wonders, ocean's shadows. In the profound depths of the ocean resides the frilled shark, an exceptionally rare and ancient species that resembles a living fossil. This shark often astonishes fishermen with its formidable appearance, characterized by numerous frilly gills that resemble an ornate collar, yet it possesses a significantly more menacing bite. Sightings of these sharks are exceedingly uncommon. One notable instance involved a specimen captured near Lake's Entrance in Victoria, Australia, which garnered international attention due to its rarity. This species has existed for approximately 80 million years, and its continued presence in our oceans is both remarkable and somewhat unsettling. However, the frilled shark is not the most alarming inhabitant of the deep. Dwelling in the darkest regions of the ocean is the dragonfish, a small yet fearsome creature measuring around 6 inches in length. Its mouth is lined with sharp teeth, enabling it to consume prey nearly half its size. The dragonfish's teeth are nearly transparent, camouflaging seamlessly with its environment, which makes it difficult for potential prey to detect until it is too late. Additionally, the dragonfish possesses a bioluminescent body, contributing an eerie quality to its already intimidating appearance, solidifying its status as a true monster of the abyss. Another fascinating organism is the telescope octopus, which inhabits depths ranging from 500 to 6,000 feet below the ocean's surface. This octopus is distinguished by its unique morphology and the peculiar dark environments it occupies. The telescope octopus exemplifies the complexity and wonder of marine life, showcasing remarkable adaptations to the challenging conditions found in the ocean's depths. In the Indo-Pacific region, one can encounter diminutive marine organisms that reach lengths of approximately 8 inches. What could these creatures be? These animals possess a nearly transparent appearance, allowing them to seamlessly blend into their environment, akin to the glass octopus, a close relative. Their gelatinous, clear bodies render them difficult to detect, even under direct sunlight. They have the remarkable ability to render nearly all parts of their anatomy invisible, with the exception of their eyes and digestive glands. The eyes of these creatures are particularly distinctive. They are mounted on slender stalks that can extend outward from their bodies, enabling them to observe their surroundings while maintaining a nearly invisible profile. This characteristic has led to their colloquial designation as telescope octopuses. Within the oceanic ecosystem, crinoids can be categorized into 2 primary types. The first type, known as sea lilies, remains permanently anchored to the ocean floor throughout their lifespan. The second type, referred to as feather stars or comatulids, possesses the ability to detach and navigate through the water. Paleontological evidence indicates that the sea lilies utilize their stalks or stems for anchorage, which also support their feeding structures equipped with arms featuring grooves that capture and direct food particles toward their mouths. Currently, the predominant form of crinoids is the free-floating feather star. While they may possess a stem during their juvenile stage, they typically lose it as they mature. Although their movement is largely influenced by ocean currents, they are capable of active locomotion, including swimming upward to forage for food, utilizing their flexible arms. They achieve swimming by organizing their arms into 3 distinct sections, allowing for relatively swift movement, despite their appearance resembling that of a small, plant-like organism devoid of a head or conventional swimming fins. Crinoid fossils date back approximately 480 million years. Some of these prehistoric organisms had the ability to attach themselves to driftwood, thereby establishing small colonies. In contrast, contemporary crinoids predominantly inhabit rocky substrates where they thrive in the gentle currents of the ocean. This adaptation highlights the remarkable resilience of marine life in the deep-sea environment. It is also important to note that not all of the attempted explorations have gone successful. While we already had a number of discoveries down, there are also a number of failures primarily due to its extreme depth, the intense pressure and remote location. Let's take a look at these unsuccessful projects. Early robotic challenges. Prior to achieving successful manned and unmanned explorations, numerous early robotic probes dispatched to the trench succumbed to the immense pressures. The technology of the time often fell short of reaching the necessary depths, with equipment frequently breaking down or failing before they could touch the ocean floor. These setbacks underscored the formidable challenge of designing machinery capable of enduring such extreme environments. The Nereus incident in 2014. A notable failure in recent history was the tragic loss of the Nereus, a sophisticated unmanned submersible created by the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. In 2014, while attempting a dive into the Mariana Trench, Nereus suffered an implosion due to the staggering pressures, which were estimated to exceed 16,000 pounds per square inch. This submersible had been an essential tool for research, and its loss marked a significant blow to deep-sea exploration efforts, serving as a stark reminder of the challenges posed by such depths. Technical hurdles in Trieste's initial missions. The Trieste, which achieved the first successful manned dive in 1960, faced a multitude of technical obstacles leading up to its historic mission. Prior to its successful descent, test dives revealed weaknesses, including problems with its ballast system and structural integrity. Engineers were compelled to continuously refine and strengthen the vessel, highlighting the iterative process required to equip it for the extreme pressures of the trench. Japan's Kaiko system malfunctions. The Japanese research submersible Kaiko, operated by the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology, made several successful dives in the Mariana Trench in the late 90s and early 2000s. However, in 2003, Kaiko was lost due to a mechanical failure in its tether during a dive, which caused the vehicle to be separated from its surface support system. Kaiko had been a valuable tool for collecting samples and observing deep-sea life, and its loss was a significant blow to Japan's deep-sea exploration program. Challenger Deep's environmental impact concerns. While not a failure in the traditional sense, some recent exploratory missions have raised concerns about potential environmental impacts on the Mariana Trench. With more submersibles and landers visiting the trench, scientists worry about contaminating these pristine ecosystems with foreign bacteria or pollutants. Some equipment has shown signs of contamination by human waste products, highlighting the risks of increased exploration on fragile ecosystems. Limited data collection and instrument failures. Many dives, especially early ones, have faced issues with limited data due to instrumentation failures. High-pressure environments lead to frequent malfunctions in cameras, sampling arms, and communication systems, resulting in missions that reach the trench but fail to return adequate data. Future discoveries and explorations. Future investigations into this harsh environment are anticipated to uncover novel life forms, distinctive geological structures, and valuable insights into the effects of human activities, even in these isolated depths. Cutting-edge technologies such as autonomous robots and enhanced submersibles will be essential for these groundbreaking discoveries. Scientists are hopeful about identifying new species that have adapted to the trench's severe conditions, which could broaden our comprehension of life on Earth. The examination of extremophile microbes may lead to breakthroughs with significant implications for biotechnology, medicine, and environmental science. Additionally, this exploration could shed light on plate tectonics and geological phenomena, potentially enhancing our understanding of earthquakes and volcanic activity. Research will also concentrate on evaluating the level of pollution in the trench and its impact on the deep-sea ecosystem. The extreme conditions found in the trench might offer insights into the possibility of life in other harsh environments, such as those present on different planets and moons. The most interesting expectation: anticipated human tourism. Can you believe that? While deep-sea exploration has primarily been the domain of researchers, advancements in submersible technology may eventually make trench visits accessible to a broader audience. Private companies are showing interest in deep-sea tourism, and future missions could include both scientists and paying passengers, which would further raise public interest and potentially increase funding for scientific exploration. Do you think you might discover something in there if you had a chance to join a team down to Mariana Trench? Engage with us and leave your comments below. Until the next video.